Hey everybody, this is Michael Berlucci, and I'm so proud and grateful and honored to serve on our City Council in Virginia Beach. And I'm here today at Green Run Collegiate with two very special people and two friends of mine. Rianne Patricio, who's the head of school, and Joe Burnsworth, who is the president of the Green Run Collegiate Foundation. And one of the best things about the job that I have is the opportunity to talk to people who are contributing in so many great ways to life in our community and to our academic and educational system in Virginia Beach, which we all know is one of the best in the country. And part of the reason it's the best is because of places like Green Run Collegiate. So tell me, why was Green Run Collegiate created, and how does it differ from an academy?
In approximately 2012, the school division was looking for a way to address inequities that existed among various populations of our cities. There were groups of students, for whatever reason, who had been marginalized and weren't given the opportunity to take advanced, rigorous courses or to enroll in academy programs. They had been left behind in advanced level courses in middle school, and that created roadblocks for them when it came time for high school. And so the vision for GRC was created to remove those roadblocks for our kids, and hence Green Run Collegiate is where we are today.
So Green Run Collegiate, it's if we had to identify the concepts or the values that define it, is opportunity and access. Green Run Collegiate is all about opportunity and access. And so how it differs from an academy is that students are selected not through an application process, it's not through filtering based on recommendations or other factors that an application typically involves in with an academy. It's really a lottery system, and doing a lottery system helps us maintain that philosophy of opportunity and access. Students just complete an enrollment form online at greenruncollegiate.vbschools.com, and then from there we put their name in a literal lottery drum, and then we have community members just like you select those names, the first 150 names out of the lottery drum, and then from there, we offered those 150 spots to those students. And anybody that doesn't accept us, because there's a lot of great opportunities, a lot of great choices here in Virginia Beach, we then move on to the waiting list. So I know it seems really simple, but at the same time, there's so much power in that lottery selection because it provides students equal opportunity and access to this highly rigorous, challenging education that we hope will open doors for them and their families.
Well, I love the notion that your mission really is to help everyone achieve their full potential and creating an equitable opportunity to do that. It's really, really amazing. And Green Run Collegiate is housed in the same building as Green Run High School, of course.
Right.
So what does that partnership look like?
That partnership looks amazing. And in the first couple of years, it's like, okay, now we have two schools in one building. How does this work and how does this function? And I think the secret to our success is the strong partnership that we have with the Green Run High School administration staff. So we are always in constant communication with each other. So there's this reciprocal relationship in which, they take advantage of the opportunities that we have, whether it's our learning garden, whether it's our opportunity for our employees to be coaches in their sports. And our students take opportunities in their wonderful programs like the NJROTC program or their fine arts program like chorus and orchestra and band. And whatever opportunities we can to intersect with Green Run High School, we take advantage of that. Because we want our students not only to consider themselves as Green Run Collegiate students, but also Green Run campus students. And that what one school can benefit from, the other school can benefit from. So it didn't start there, but that's where we are right now, and we're very proud of that partnership.
Is everyone a stallion?
Everyone is absolutely a stallion. We are hashtag one campus, one family.
That's what I thought so.
And if you walk down the hall, Michael, at any time during the school day, you would, unless they're wearing something that indicates what school they go to, you would never know who was a GRC student and who was a Green Run High School student because they blend and they interact so naturally.
Yeah, I think that's wonderful. And since 2003, when the school was established, Green Run Collegiate has consistently taken the lead in state accreditation, on-time graduation rates, and many other accolades. And so what do you attribute that success?
I think for us, it's that everyone understands the mission and vision and invests in the mission and vision of Green Run Collegiate. And it goes back to that opportunity and access for all students to have that high quality, rigorous education. And every single stakeholder invests in that philosophy. So I think it's one thing to build a school because you have to build a school. It's another to build a school because we want to reach a goal. And I think that with Joe's vision in helping build this school, found this school in 2012, and because it's still a relatively new school, no one has forgotten the why behind creating this school. And we keep on reminding ourselves the why behind the school. And so I think a big part of the success is because everybody not only identifies with the why, knows the why, but they're invested in the why. Joe, what do you think?
And there's such a sense of ownership. When policies are decided that affect students have input. They give feedback to teachers on what's working well and what's not working well. And there's so much talk today in our country and in our society about social justice. It lives here, and you can see it manifest itself every day, and it's because there's so much ownership, not just among the teachers and administrators, but these kids. They own this school. They own the success, and it's celebrated like no place else I've ever seen success celebrated. And it's not just celebrated because somebody got a sports award or somebody got an academic award. It's celebrated because someone did something nice for somebody in the hallway, or somebody who has faced challenges outside of school. People have seen those challenges overcome, or at least being worked on in a positive way. So it's the whole child, the whole teacher, the whole environment is celebrated and lifted at the same time.
Well, I think it's so important to consider what those ingredients are that contribute to the great successes. And there's something really special happening here, and I've known that over the years that I've had a chance to observe. And I think that other schools and other administrations and curriculums may be interested in taking note of some of the lessons that you've learned and some of the leadership that you've advanced into helping students achieve, and families and teachers too. So it's just incredible. And what type of education does a student get at Green Run Collegiate? What do you have to offer?
The hallmark of Green Run Collegiate is the International Baccalaureate curriculum. When we were writing this proposal, and we wanted to make sure that the students had access to a rigorous program, but we also wanted them to have exposure to the world around them, because we knew that we were going to be addressing a population that lacked some experiences that many of students in Virginia Beach have naturally, that they lack some exposure. And so the International Baccalaureate curriculum provides that. It's not only global, it forces connections among content and ideas and philosophies. And it's not just academic. It looks at health and physical education. It looks at fine arts. It looks at service. And so when a young person comes to GRC, they're getting a true holistic education that's supported by teachers who believe in them and not only find ways, but create and go out of their way to provide support so that every student can find their success. And you can quantify that by the fact that there's a 100% graduation rate for the past 4 years. What other school can say that? I mean, and it's because of that holistic, supported approach.
As the head of school, how do you see the educational opportunities that exist here?
I think that for the International Baccalaureate as well as our AVID program, the approach that we choose to implement the International Baccalaureate philosophy is one of a kind. So I think that most of the time when people say that you're an IB school or this is an IB school, they think immediately, okay, academics, rigor, challenging courses. And
Let me ask you a question. So anyone who may not have a student in the school division, or what does International Baccalaureate mean?
So the International Baccalaureate Organization is an organization that's based in Europe, Switzerland, and it's in 165 countries. I hope I got that number right. I'm pretty sure it's 165. It's a lot of countries. But basically, the philosophy of the IB program is that global education, and that students can understand the power they have to be change agents in society, but also understand that different perspectives allows us to be empowered and knowledgeable citizens. And so when you hear that, or when a person hears about International Baccalaureate, they think maybe it's just your top tier student, because your top tier student can maybe only handle it because of how it's been approached across the nation. Well, IB is now taking a different approach. They're taking that approach of equity and opportunity and access. They want to be able to provide this kind of rigorous, challenging education to anybody who wants it. And so that's the approach that we're taking with this philosophy, that not only, and with the program, that not only is it challenging, but it also takes into consideration students' socio-emotional needs. It takes into consideration the fact that they need process skills in order to be successful in understanding the content. And I think that's how Green Run Collegiate is very successful in the approach that we implement this program. So for example, we have the Approaches to Learning class and the AVID class that helps students with really understanding how to develop their critical thinking skills and their process skills to create high quality products. We also see the curriculum as a jumping point for community partnerships, such as Chrysler, such as the Museum of Contemporary Art, such as the Virginia Aquarium and Marine Science Center, so that our students can start embedding what they've learned, not just in the classroom, but outside the classroom as well. And so, yes, the International Baccalaureate Organization and its programs are available in these 165, 163 countries. But I think it's at Green Run Collegiate where we're striving to live that philosophy with utmost fidelity.
Well, it's a perfect segue into the next question I have, because you talked about partnerships and you talked about sort of expanding the students' understanding about the world around them. In order to do that, you have to be innovative.
Right.
And Green Run Collegiate really has a growing reputation for being a leader in innovation in education. So can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, I think it comes back to, part of our approach for not only students but for our teachers is that they have to have the grace and humility to take risks. So not only are we asking our students who may not have had this rigorous coursework in their previous educational experience because of a variety of circumstances, we're asking our teachers to take risks, to have the humility and grace to take risks that they may not have had the leeway to do in their previous educational career. And so with that said, they really jump into that. So they really take advantage of the various grants that are offered. I think the best one that I can think of was the interdisciplinary unit with geometry, design technology, and art to build that mini golf course last year. Okay. I know we're not done with it because of the pandemic, but the fact that the design technology had groups of children present to community business leaders their projects, and that geometry was used in order to figure out the angles and the structure of the mini golf course, and that art, when it comes time to figure out the design piece and the aesthetic piece of the golf course. I mean, that takes collaboration. It takes incredible risk taking from our teachers, and it takes them to like each other, to want to work with each other.
It's collaboration, and it's really just a perfect example of interdisciplinary education.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. But I think that teachers or schools have to give our educators the latitude to do that. And I think a big part of innovation is to provide people who want to be innovative the latitude and freedom to do that.
Empowering people,
Yeah.
students and teachers.
Yes.
Right. That happens here every day.
I would hope so.
Yeah, it does. So, Joe, I know this is true, but a lot of people say that Green Run Collegiate is like a family. The students, teachers, the families, but even the community more broadly than that. Would you say that's true?
Absolutely. And I think that, and again, I can't wait for the opportunity so that we can bring people back into the school, because you can feel it. The minute you talk to a student or a parent, you feel that bond that's there. A memory that will last forever with me was graduation this summer. And they were very different, obviously, these graduation ceremonies. But a family came out, and I had the pleasure of greeting all the families when they were waiting for their graduate to come. And the senior from GRC came out in his cap and gown, and obviously the family was very proud. But then seconds later, here comes his little brother in a cap and gown who didn't get his kindergarten graduation, but he was welcomed here as part of the family to graduate with his older brother. And the reception that the teachers and the other graduates gave that family and that little boy, and the feeling of pride that he had, that happens over and over and over again, where the families, the parents feel comfortable enough to do that, to extend, to bring their family to the GRC family and vice versa. It's amazing to me.
And you're the president of the foundation, which
Yes.
is a private nonprofit that exists to support the operations of Green Run Collegiate and provide even more opportunity for the students. And as the part of the foundation, there's just an extended community of people, business leaders, individuals who support Green Run Collegiate as extended family. You want to talk a little bit more about that?
And that's true, Michael, and it's growing every day, which makes my heart swell. As we tell the story of GRC, as we share the success these kids bring, when anybody meets them, like the presentations of the golf course, they can't help but fall in love with them. And so we've been thrilled to have partners, the Rianne name, but also Truist Bank has Dominion Energy, the PRA group, because they don't just say, we may be interested in writing you a check, but we want to become involved with the kids. We want to be a part of their success. So
That's the best kind of partnership.
that's the best kind of
They're
partnership.
invested in a way that
Right.
transcends financial support and really gets into, they're invested in the success of the program, they're invested in the success of the students who attend.
And one of the things we're saying now is, money's great, but in this time, in the times of the pandemic, when these students are so isolated, right now we want people to invest in the kids and become mentors, just to so that they have an adult that they can connect to, and maybe discover a career or a profession out of it, but just to have a caring adult to send an email message and say hi or congratulations or something you need, So that's as important as somebody stroking a check.
Of course.
And I think, Michael, I think the reason why they're so invested in us, when you ask that question, why is GRC referred to as family? I think it comes back to, one is that we listen. It's really important for us to really listen to what our community needs and to follow through on some of those concerns. So when you talk about it, when we think about, okay, our students are invested, why are they invested? It's because we listen to them and we follow through on their needs. Why are our parents invested in us? It's because we listen to them and we follow through on their needs. And then two is because we're authentic. We are authentic about our passion. We are authentic about wanting to pursue our mission and make that mission come alive. And so when people talk to the teachers, people talk to students, people talk to myself or Joe, they can see that we're authentic in our passion to help our students gain that access to have this opportunity, and we are authentic for trying to pursue this mission. And I think it's easy for donors and companies to come here because they see that authenticity and they know that we'll follow through on that. And so that I think is part of that. That is the reason why people say that we're family, because we're going to keep it real. We're going to say, yes, it is hard, but you can do it. It's going to take a while. As long as you think you can do it, we're going to help you through that. And that authenticity is because it lends itself to that family dynamic, because it's only in your family that you can be authentic with, hopefully, ideally.
That's such a great point. And I see that. I see that every time I visit here, anytime I have any chance to encounter. It's true in students, teachers, and all the people who support. So after all this discussion, I think the answer is clear. But I wonder if each of you would consider sharing why you think families should consider Green Run Collegiate.
You give a child love and respect and opportunity, and they're going to achieve. They're going to be able to chase their dreams. And for me, Green Run Collegiate gives every student that says yes the opportunity to chase their dreams. And for many of them, there are dreams that they never thought they were allowed to have. And now they aren't only allowed to have them, they see a path to accomplish them.
Green Run Collegiate means so much to me in the sense of, I believe in the International Baccalaureate curriculum. Like, that's the education nerd in me. I believe in this curriculum because it's holistic. It doesn't just serve the academic side of students, it also serves a person's socio-emotional needs. It talks about the importance of being balanced, the importance of being reflective. That educational philosophy is about being a good person who's going to pursue their passion in life. Why wouldn't we want that for anyone? Why wouldn't any family want that for their own child? And we do it really good here because you have teachers that buy into the philosophy, that really care about every single one of the students that are here. They don't see them as their students, they see them as their children. And they are completely invested in not just the academic success of a child, but in the child's, they're invested in them as a person and the potential and power that person can have. And so why would families want to consider Green Run Collegiate? I'm saying that you should consider Green Run Collegiate because we are invested in every aspect of your child, in every dimension of your child's personality. The three things that I say to ninth graders as they enter is that I want you to be able to be open to our feedback. Be open to it. I want you to trust the process because the process is difficult, but to trust that it's going to serve you in the end. But also to be yourself. I think it's so hard for children to be themselves. And Green Run Collegiate, through the IB philosophy, if you do it right, will allow your child to be able to be themselves. And I think it's so hard for children to be themselves. And Green Run Collegiate, through the IB philosophy, if you do it right, will allow your child to be able to be themselves. And Green Run Collegiate, through the IB philosophy, if you do it right, to be themselves. And so that's the reason why I think people should seriously consider Green Run Collegiate.
And I hope they will. I certainly hope they will. Well, as you can tell, I'm sitting with two people who contribute so much to Green Run Collegiate, to our community, and who really care about Virginia Beach and they care about students. And there are so many unbelievable opportunities here. So I want to thank our head of school, Rianne Patricio, and the president of the Green Run Collegiate Foundation, Joe Burnsworth, for everything you do and for making Virginia Beach very proud and for supporting students. And I hope you learned a lot about Green Run Collegiate today. I know I did.